And I'm Matt Hanna.
And this is Horror Hour with the Hannas.
Where we don't just review horror, we summon it.
Ooh, I like that one for this movie. Well, today we are talking about Evil Dead 2013, so we will be talking about summoning some really scary stuff. But we are not doing this journey alone today. Today we are joined by the folks at Talking Horror. Hey, guys.
Hello. Thank you.
I love it. It's a full party now.
We really have strength in numbers to tackle this movie, and I think it's quite necessary because we are all going to get picked up one by one.
Yeah,
So,
we're all going to the cabin together.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But for real, had I shown up to this cabin on any trip, I don't care what the trip is for. I don't care if it's for this purpose. I'm leaving. I'm not walking in there.
Absolutely.
They get some nice bedrooms in there. I don't know. Just a scary basement.
I'm good. I saw the outside. That's good enough for me. Well,
Absolutely. I agree.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell our audience about your pod and your socials?
Yeah. Great. I feel like we should just do our introduction like, hi, I'm Nikisha. Hi, I'm Jamie. And this is...
You did it. Great. You introduced us.
Great.
Great job.
Fantastic. Well, yes, I am Nikisha.
I'm Jamie.
Yes.
And I'm Brian.
Producer Brian.
Yes, producer Brian. And we are all from Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha. And we are so excited to be here talking horror with the Hannas and super excited for all the things. And usually producer Brian is the one that gives all of the social stuff. So I will turn it over to him for that.
Sure. We're on TikTok and Instagram, our two big ones. You can find us at Talk Horror Pod. And then, of course, you can find our YouTube Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha. But we look at horror through a different lens than maybe some other podcasts or TikToks that you've seen. So, Jamie, why don't you talk a little bit about like the angle that we kind of tackle some of these movies from?
Yeah. So I'm a mental health therapist. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and we essentially have these conversations about all of these horror movies through the lens of mental health and human behavior. Nikisha also coming from an actor background. So getting into the nitty gritty about what it takes to kind of pull some of these roles off, but also most of the time we just like seeing insides on the outside and yelling about how every therapist in these movies are bad.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I love that. And that's actually, kind of what got us interested in podcasting is I have my degree in mental health counseling and have worked in case management and such. And I feel like that was kind of what interested me about horror at first, besides the fact that I was like a huge scaredy cat and it was really effective for me, was also that I thought it was so interesting how movies like Split, The Babadook talked about or showed mental health and various topics around mental health, grief, etc. I love that you guys have that focus on your show. And that's why I kind of thought Evil Dead 2013 might be a fun one to talk about. One, because Matt's been begging for it. But two, because, given your background, I thought you might have some valuable insight to bring to the episode as well.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. We've had a lot to talk about with this in previous episodes with all the Evil Dead. So super excited to continue to share our thoughts on the matter on the air.
Yes. Well, let's jump into it then. So, as mentioned, we're covering Evil Dead 2013. It's the fourth entry into the Evil Dead franchise. It's directed by Fede Álvarez with the screenplay written by Álvarez and Rodo Saez. And then it was also doctored by Diablo Cody because Álvarez, his first language isn't English, so Diablo Cody kind of hopped in to just make sure that the language and whatnot was correct for an American audience. The film stars Jane Levy, Shiloh Fernandez, Lou Taylor Pucci, Jessica Lucas, and Elizabeth Blackmore, and it was produced by the producers of the original Evil Dead trilogy, Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, and Robert Tappert.
that was a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm thinking, and I don't know the answer to this, so I was thinking this was like what put Alvarez on the map in my mind, at least for me. I'm sure he did something beforehand, but like since then has been featured in a lot of like big names doing at least the most recent Alien movie.
Yes.
Oh, and Don't Breathe ended up being his own work as well. So.
Yeah, so
Right.
This is actually the first film that he wrote and directed. He had done some short films before this, but this was his first big project.
Okay, that's
so it did put him on the map.
Crazy and maybe arguably his best project still. I don't know if that's a hot take, but
I don't know. I haven't seen Don't Breathe, so I can't
say,
but I like Evil Dead better than Romulus, personally.
He did that.
That's fair.
I agree.
He did that one-off. He did that one-off.
The Girl in the Spider's Web.
Yeah, the Salander, the Elizabeth Salander movie.
And
Girl
that's
with
like
the
a
Dragon Tattoo movies.
horror.
is it even a set? It's not a sequel to any of the other ones, though, right? Or is it? I know the book is.
Yeah, it's like a soft reboot and sequel to Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but it didn't do well enough for her anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sad day.
That day indeed.
It is kind of crazy to see that he really only has 4 directed movies under his belt, and like I think has done a pretty damn good job at least thus far. So hopefully get some more. I'd probably like to see him go back to something original again instead of keep being given IP to work with. But
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah. And there were definitely choices that he made for Evil Dead 2013 that I thought were pretty cool. I was reading a ton of background on this film, and there was so much that was interesting, but then I was like, damn, we have 5 people to talk about our thoughts on this movie. I don't want to make the whole episode background. So I limited it to just 2 main things that I wanted to share.
Hit us with it.
First, he does have a background in CGI, but he confirmed that the film does not use CGI except for touch-ups. So real quote, he said, "Everything that you see is real," which was very demanding. This was a very long shoot, 70 days of shooting at night. There's a reason people use CGI. It's cheaper and faster, but I hate that. We researched a lot of magic tricks and illusion tricks.
Yeah.
I need to jump in and say immediately that it was worth it because I have not seen a like grosser and more effective movie. I don't know ever, to be honest. Like I've seen some gross stuff, but even like looking back at this today, I was just like blown away by some of the stuff they were going to do. I mean, what do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this all the time that like even good CGI pulls us out of moments.
Yes.
I agree.
And practical effect is a true art form, and movies like this stand the test of time because practical effects kind of always are great, and CGI gets outdated. So this definitely, I mean, it's never once am I pulled out by it. If anything, I'm pulled more in to be like, wow, how did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like that's the feature of this, especially if you're going into the IP of Evil Dead anyway. Like I feel like there's no other way to do Evil Dead than with practical effects. So I think this just adds to me that this is the star of the show is the practical effects. It's like, yeah, you have all the Easter eggs of all the things, which I'm sure we'll talk about with previous movies. But all in all, you're there for the insides on the outsides, as we call them on our podcast.
I love that. That's fun. Yeah, I feel like for me, I watched this one before I'd seen any other Evil Dead movie. So like I wasn't out here getting any of the references. But
I don't even think you need to. Yeah.
I don't think you need to. I mean, I'm sure that makes it more fun, but I think because the story is very interesting and the practicals are so well done that you don't even need that. But I do like that since the originals obviously were all practicals, that this stays true to the spirit of the original 3 by using practical
Right.
as well.
I just want to know how the hell they did the tongue splitting shot and the needle shot.
Yo.
I'm stuck thinking about both of those right now. Or
You're stuck thinking about the needle shot.
Oh.
Oh no.
Or thinking about the her being possessed with the angry molesting trees, as I'll call them,
Oh god.
in lieu of
Those damn
Cabin in the
trees.
Woods. Like, oh my god, that's a callback from the
I was
first
about
movie.
to
If you
say,
weren't sure.
is that their legal
Yeah.
name?
Well, that's what they call them in the Cabin in the
I know.
Woods. Yeah.
I knew that was a reference. I've seen that scene before.
Yeah. Have you seen from the original movie? You've seen it, or you mean you've
I've seen the scene
in
from
the Cabin in
the
the Woods?
original
Oh,
movie
okay.
and the reference.
Yeah,
from the
it's pretty
Cabin
vile, and the one in
Woods.
this one is also just as vile.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
love
well,
that
when-
this went for it. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. No. When we covered this movie on our podcast, Nikisha had never seen like any of these,
Any
right?
of them. Yeah.
So we
no, this
watched
was my
them
first time.
in order, and that was a really cool experience. Just like this one, the cool thing about this movie is that it stands on its own. It really does. And I feel like all of the callbacks and Easter eggs are not distracting to someone who A, has not seen other movies, but B, definitely adds a fun little layer. Like, this is how it should be done in a reboot, remake, whatever you want to call it, versus like the, all the other requels, if you will.
Yeah.
I did the same thing about a couple of years ago. I had never seen any of them, and I watched all 5 in a row, and I was blown away by this one. I think especially because you can appreciate it more, like you said, after seeing the first 3. But because it stands alone, there are days where I was like, this is my favorite. And I'm going to actually really quick. It's a sequel because the car is still there from the first movie.
It is.
Okay,
it is.
fine. I'll that's fine.
I thought, does that not make it acceptable to be a requel?
It's a requel, yes. No, but
okay.
he said reboot or remake, and I was like,
He said requel at one point, so
no, just-
actually, he did that.
Somebody check the tape. Chat, clip that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, speaking of requel, I did ask on our socials, what's your favorite horror requel, since I knew we were covering this. And a few people said this movie. Actually, this was the most common answer. So,
I was one of them.
yeah, you were. So for example, Sarah from the Final Girls podcast said Evil Dead 2013, as did Taryn from Cinema's Charm, both of which have been on our show before. And then we also had Pickle Sandwich 1981. That's the most incredible username ever. I love
is.
Sandwich.
Yes.
They said Poltergeist, and then
I never saw that remake.
no, me either.
I don't even know if that's a requel. Well, whatever.
no.
Continue.
Yeah, I don't know, but I like their name, so I had to share it. And then Movie Postmortem Podcast said Halloween 2018.
I like that.
Oh,
pick,
and
too.
then Taryn also said Scream 2022.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yep. Okay.
Of course.
Yes. So definitely got some shooters for this film, which was very exciting to see because I
Yes.
was like,
I've been telling you for years.
Yeah, I
you can
know.
go back to a lot of our episodes. I'm like, Hannah, it's time we watch Evil Dead 2013. Like multiple times. I was like, I think you're gonna like it. It's like one that you on the surface you might think you won't like it, but once you watch it, you're gonna like it.
Someone go back and listen to
Yeah.
every episode.
You're probably so
and
cranky.
count how many times
Yeah,
I brought up
tally.
this
I was like, can we please just cover it already? Like,
Well, my last fun fact that I did want to share is how many gallons of fake blood was used for this
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
it rains blood, so
Any guesses? I know this is like, how does one guess? A
yeah,
quantity
gallons.
of
When there's a
fake blood?
shot of raining and they shot over 70 days, like
Yeah, so in reports from the press, they said that the film used 70,000 gallons of fake blood. Fede
my
Álvarez
God.
said it's more like 50,000 gallons. Oh, no, Fede Álvarez said they used 50,000 gallons for that final scene alone.
Oh,
I was gonna
my
say the raining
God.
scene. Yeah, that tracks.
Is
Yes.
absurd. Yeah.
yeah. Let the rain fall down.
worth every
Absolutely.
single drop. I'm gonna say it.
Yes.
Good to the last drop.
Yeah, I thought that one was so funny. Especially because I was like looking up the facts while I was watching that scene, and I was like, oh, hey, like Leo memeing.
Oh yeah, there's
Alright, so do you think we should do our 15-second summaries
I
now,
think
Matthew?
that makes sense. We have 5 of them to do.
Okay.
So you know what? Don't let me go first though, because whatever's off the dome right now is not going to be good. So
Isn't that like the whole point of the bit?
no. When it comes to a story that has like substance abuse and overcoming that, I don't want to go off the cuff on a 15-second.
That's fair.
So let me think.
So if you guys aren't familiar, our 15-second summaries bit is where we summarize the film off the dome, usually in 15 seconds or less. So we time each other, and most of the time it's whatever nonsense comes out of our mouths. Does anyone want to go first?
No one.
Ooh.
I can go.
I'll go.
I'll go.
Oh,
Okay.
Nikisha, you're brave.
No.
We love the bravery.
Hannah's pulling up her clock right now.
Right. Whenever
You got this,
guys wanna
Nikisha.
start.
Whenever I want to start.
Yep.
Okay, starting now. So, a girl named Mia, she's trying to get over an addiction, and all of her friends go to a cabin, but then they find a book, and chaos ensues, and mostly everyone dies. Oh, is that a spoiler? I wasn't supposed to spoil it.
No, you can
No,
spoil
you
it.
can
This
spoil
movie
it.
came out in 2013. We're spoiling.
That's all I got.
Beautiful. Very accurate.
Yes.
Succinct. We love it. All right. Who's up next?
I'll go.
Perfect.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. So a girl goes to a cabin with her friends and family to detox from substances. Some terrible, dumb idiot reads from a disgusting book and ruins all of their lives. The end.
Yes.
A magical, beautiful 15 seconds.
Not all of their lives.
I mean, I think that her life is still kind of
Forever
ruined.
changed.
Yeah.
The question is, did it
I
work?
have the
Haven't
worst.
changed.
Yeah.
Did it work? I don't know. They kind of, I think from a subtext standpoint, it might have worked, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
All right. Hannah,
Subtext and the text can be quite different
Yeah.
sometimes.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
All right, Hannah, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
This film contains the best dog name I've ever heard in my entire life in the form of a grandpa.
There you go. That summarizes a lot for me.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to Grandpa.
R.I.P. Grandpa. That was tough. Well, I
Yeah.
got one of my hot takes out of the way for later.
There
It
you
was
go.
that Grandpa is actually probably the best dog name I've ever heard in a movie.
There, I like it.
I didn't do any research to fact check if I have that I appreciate, but I think I stand by it.
All right, Brian, you want to go, and then I'll
Yeah, sure.
round us out? All right, when you're ready.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So Evil Dead 2013 is about a really bad friend who decides to open a book that is covered in barbed wire and bags that is made of skin and decides to read from it willy-nilly and then doesn't tell his friends that he did it when he sees that the things in the book are actually happening to them. He deserves everything that he got.
22 seconds, but we'll give it to you.
That's my thing. I don't follow the timing rules.
I appreciated all of the judgment there put on the friend because same. I simply don't understand messing with the book, first of all, but also like I don't have that enough curiosity to have done that, I guess. Which
No way.
could or couldn't be a character flaw, I'm not sure. But even if I like did open it, I simply just don't understand the purpose of reading any of it out loud, sir.
No.
No.
So the movie could happen.
Keep that to yourself, my man.
All right, I'm ready.
Right, you got it, Matt.
Would you still love me if you had to bury me in a hole until my heart stopped and then dig me up and then shock me with a car battery to bring me back to life and then you still died? That's
I mean, I would be dead, so I wouldn't
you?
have any love left to give unless I was a ghost.
If you ain't willing to do that for me,
Well,
not a real friend.
I've heard that
Not a real,
song before.
not my wife.
I mean,
Is that a Taylor Swift song?
Yeah. No, I think it's an old Motown joint.
Gotcha.
I think I would do it in like this kind of circumstance, but not in like an everyday circumstance because I'll get arrested for murder if I can't bring you back. I can't handle jail.
I have to say, the moment that I realized he's going to do that, the first time I watched this movie, I was like, this is the best movie ever. I was like, this is so great, perfect. Like, put the bag over, keep the dirt out of her mouth, and they do all the Sam Raimi flair of him getting all the stuff prepped, and I was like, there, I get it. This is immaculate, you know?
Yeah, iconic.
All right, so now for our whole movie plot. So here we go. A girl is tied up in the cellar of a remote cabin where an old woman is reciting incantations from a strange book. The girl reveals her demonic possession, and her father sets her ablaze and shoots her dead. Sometime later, David and his girlfriend Natalie arrive at the same cabin, which is his family's holiday home, with their dog Grandpa. They meet his estranged younger sister Mia and their friends Eric and Olivia. The group plans to stay in the cabin while Mia overcomes her heroin addiction. David discovers that the cabin has been broken into prior, with the cellar littered with rotting animal corpses and a book called the Naturam de Monto. Eric reads an incantation from the book, awakening a malevolent force. As Mia begins seeing a demonic doppelganger of herself in the woods, she steals Eric's car to leave, but crashes into a nearby swamp. The demon chases her into the woods, where vines trap her and sexually assault her, allowing the demon to possess her. David finds Grandpa beaten to death and discovers Mia scalding herself in the shower with hot water. That night, a possessed Mia wounds David with a shotgun and vomits onto Olivia's face before Eric locks her in the basement. A now possessed Olivia mutilates her face and stabs Eric with a piece of glass before he beats her to death. Mia lures Natalie into the cellar and bites her hand before slicing her own tongue. David helps Natalie escape. Eric explains that per the book, the Taker of Souls must claim 5 souls to unleash the abomination, and Mia must be purified by either live burial, dismemberment, or burning. Meanwhile, Natalie's infected arm becomes possessed, and she attempts to amputate it with an electric knife. A possessed Natalie attacks the pair with a nail gun, but David shoots her other arm off. Natalie bleeds to death from her injury. David begins dousing the cabin in gasoline, but decides to bury Mia instead. He digs a grave, but Mia tries to drown him, and Eric is fatally stabbed, saving him. David sedates and buries Mia, but after hearing her heartbeat stop, digs her back up and attempts to resuscitate her with a homemade defibrillator, bringing her back to life. Furious and being driven out of Mia, and being so close to being resurrected, the Taker of Souls possesses the corpse of Eric before attacking David in the cabin. David shoots a gasoline can, killing himself and the possessed Eric. With David's death being the 4th claimed soul, blood begins to rain from the sky, and the Takers of Souls rises as the abomination. It attacks Mia to claim her soul in order to become complete. Mia severs the abomination's legs with a chainsaw, but it overturns David's Jeep onto her left arm, crushing it in the process. After Mia's hand is torn off while freeing herself, she splits the abomination's head with a chainsaw before it sinks back into the ground and the blood rain stops. An exhausted Mia leaves, unaware that the book is still intact. And that's our movie.
Wow.
Amazing.
Round of applause. Wow, 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 wow.
Yes.
I understood the movie better from what you said than even watching it.
Yes.
You're so literate.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Now that you've shared the whole plot, let's get in deeper to this movie. Because it's a horror movie, I'm just going to start by asking, is this movie scary?
I think so. Because
Question.
yes.
What is so funny, Matthew?
Because I feel like we asked this a lot, and we're like, you know what? It was fine. But no, this one, I remember being a kid and seeing trailers that I couldn't watch on TV because they scared me so bad. Like, maybe not as scary now at the ripe old age of 29, but I mean, I don't know. This movie is still disturbing as hell.
I agree. I wish the first time I watched this that I was like more attentive to how much I hit or screamed, because when it's a first watch for the podcast, obviously we count that, and it was definitely not 0. I'm sure the total number added up to a minimum of 4, but like I don't know how much it was, and today I do think it was diminished a little bit on second watch how scary I found it, but like it's still scary. There was one part where even today I was like, oh, I might hyperventilate after seeing that. So
do we have any hides or screams over with the Talking Horror crew?
I don't know if you guys are hide or screamer people, but even though we have a horror podcast, I still manage to be that scared every time.
Oh, I mean, I definitely still do. Like, when I see a movie in the movie theater, I'm like, there's one hand in front of one eye, and then, like, I'm kind of squinting the other one and, you know, trying to stay as far back from the screen as possible. But I think this movie is a scary movie. However, I am an Evil Dead stan. So this is, like, my bread and butter, and it brings me so much joy versus screaming.
Versus scares. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll say the same in the sense of, I mean, Jamie goes hard for this movie. I just got introduced to this like last year, 2 years ago. And I will say watching it in order when I got to this one, I guess because I was expecting some of the same types of scares that I wasn't scared. I will say, even watching it again this go around, when the monster comes out of the swamp towards Mia, like I did still have a little jump, but no screams or hiding. Give me the gore. We're always talking about more. We want more gore. So anytime there's all that blood and all those beautiful practical scenes, my eyes are wide open. Like, it's because I just appreciate the time it took. So I'm like, I'm going to admire and take in all of this because I know how hard they worked to get all that stuff out there. So it's like Jamie, more of a joy than a scare. But that one jump scare did get me. So
that jump scare got me too. That's the scene today where I like my breath caught, and then I was like, I legitimately might start hyperventilating after that one. That was the one on me today.
I will say, I totally agree with you where I'm like smiling from ear to ear while also being like quite scared watching this movie. The trick, you say bring me more gore. I want good gore though. This movie does this fantastic thing where it's very actually pretty to look at while also showing me the most disgusting thing I've seen, which gives you that my brain doesn't know what to do because I'm like, oh, Jane Levy, you're really pretty. And this shot's really pretty, but like also you're a deadite right now and I'm scared and now I'm confused, like internally. And like we recently did some TikTok where we were like, what's our horror movie? Hear Me Out. And I was like, yeah, Deadite Mia is my Hear Me Out. You know?
that is
And I was
really
like,
good.
is it a Hear Me Out? Like, Mia's hot.
Well, but I mean,
She is.
Does she get better looking as a deadite? Is that what you're saying?
No,
I
I don't think that's what I'm saying.
I don't know. My brain is very confused. Mark me down as scared and horny is what they say.
Scorny?
Either way, Brian, what are you thinking? I will say it sounds like we're all fans of these movies so far. We didn't really get into that, but I like this a lot.
Yeah, this one was scarier on first watch. This is like my fourth time seeing it, and like we've said, I just get giddy during this movie, and it's just like it's just a lot of fun, and I don't necessarily jump at it anymore. But I get so much pleasure and joy out of this movie.
Totally feel that. So, obviously, we're all fans, and something that we've touched on that makes us a fan is the use of practicals and fantastic body horror in this film. Does anyone have any specific moments that they wanted to shout out?
I mean, her cutting her face.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
With the mirror.
But
Yes.
even better than that is him slipping on the skin
Yes.
as he's trying to back up. Like the thing I love about this movie is that there's the gross out and then there's some fallout from that. So like it's not just the gross because so it's always surprising you. So that's a good example of it where she cuts her face and you're like, oh, that's gross. But then he slips on that. So it kind of adds this like serious slapstick to it. And so that kind of like keeps it tonally in line with the ones that came before it, but it's still doing its own thing. And I think that's kind of also the magic of not only this movie, but this movie fitting into kind of the overall Evil Dead world.
It's gore with a purpose because I would even say like, you know what, I don't need a gory movie for no reason. I don't need like a torture porn type movie, although I love the Saw franchise. But like when you have made what I could even call an elevated horror movie, even though I don't like love that term. This is what I would call elevated horror while also being a gore fest and like no, I'm not going to call it a slasher, but it has more blood than any slasher I've seen. And I think that's like where the magic kind of happens is you kind of just fired on all cylinders with this one. You hit everything I needed. Yeah. But I will say, just to shout out one scene, I've never gotten that needle stab out of my head. As I was saying,
Oh,
I was stuck on it earlier, like him trying to pull it out, and I'm like, did he get hit in the eye? His eye is bleeding.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about puncture wounds. I was a lifeguard and a Boy Scout, and those things I know that those are the most infected types of wounds, so it freaks me out. And it's disgusting in that cabin, all right? I think eye things really get me, but him just trying to get it out of his face, really, like,
and it's really long, too. There's a lot of
he's
needle
really
in
like
there.
yoinking it.
Yeah.
Yoink.
But it's all in the detail of that stuff. Like when they pull it out and like the skin pulls with it, like the details in the practical effects in this definitely add a whole nother layer.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Foley artist too, like the squelching sounds with all the cutting of the limbs. It's just it just adds so much.
You make a great point. And all of it's over the top in the perfect, like, Raimi flair way. And again, I know he didn't make it, but obviously they're trying to stylize in the way he does things. And, like, pretty impressive that Alvarez was able to, I think, capture that exact feeling with a more gritty film.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something that Sam Raimi is really good at outside of, like, directing is that I feel like he has a really good eye for talent. And, like, the fact that he's picked two, and I'm going to make the assumption that Sebastian Vanek, when Evil Dead Burn comes out next week, between him next year, excuse me.
Oh yeah, you threw me off so hard there. I was like, what?
Right.
I got excited.
What
I got
is
too
going
excited. Lee
Matt was about to be
Cronin
like,
and
why didn't you email
I was like,
first?
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up.
I know. Sorry. Fede Álvarez, like he picks the right people to continue his vision through their own vision, and I think that has been very clear. Whether you like these movies or not, I think that is a really cool thing.
I think you're spot on. Do we have any other gore or body horror scenes we want to shout out before getting on to the next thing?
Obviously, the cutting of the tongue is iconic and disgusting.
The
Ton of
nails and
things.
the nail gun nails in the face look really good.
Oh, they look so good.
Yeah.
There's
Also,
so
the
much.
chopping off of the arm.
Oh yeah. Oh, the arm falling off, like when they find her in the
Yes.
kitchen. It's those
And
little
they're-
details. It's not that they
Yeah, they're
find her
like
with the arm off. Yeah.
Very
they're
squelchy.
staring at her in horror as it is hanging by like
Sinew.
and then drops.
And it's funny because we talk. I say it again. We talk about this like, oh, it's a gore movie. It's like there's just so much else going on too. This is just something that like stands out, and that's what I think is so impressive.
You want
why
to
don't you
talk about what
Okay.
else is going on here, Matt?
Well, obviously, this is a whole not frame story, but a whole setup of that they're there to have her detox, which I think immediately is genius. I was like, that's a great way to get us to the cabin that isn't the normal, friends going up there. And I think it adds a whole other layer of the horrors that she is already going through via withdrawal. And for them to then not understand, or I guess they're trying to compare that going through withdrawal and having a substance addiction, and in that moment could make you basically someone you aren't. And I think we know that with addiction. And I think to compare going through withdrawal to like being possessed is very true. I want to call it funny, and I know that's not the right word, but for a movie, it is I'm like, this is genius. I really like what they're going for
it's
here.
a very poignant allegory, I would say. And I do think
The funny part is that when I say funny, it's that they're just like, no, it's just withdrawal. And I'm like,
Yes.
no, you morons. Like, she is possessed by a demon
Well,
right
that's-
now. And
that's
they're like,
what's so
that's why the-
interesting is
That's why-
they're
that's why
using
the movie
detox
works.
as
Yes.
a way to discount her.
yes,
Yeah.
And like that would happen in real life too, sadly.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, what were you saying, though? That's why it works.
Oh yeah, the fact that the detox justifies why they won't believe her. Some of our biggest pet peeves about movies is like, I don't believe this person wouldn't have believed this person if that's the relationship. Like this, like it's very believable, and why this thing spreads even faster and all of that, because it's just a brilliant plot point.
I agree, and then you can read it subtextually, which we'll get there later, which is obviously about like addiction and substance use,
Sure.
and the detox, where it's like when people are trying to get clean, it's not surprising that they would, it can get in positions where they push people away and push friends away or try to like run away from family because of that. That's like what happens with addiction. That's what happens with like detoxing from that. I think that's fun. And I'm interested to see what we think about the end of the movie based on that, but we'll get into themes a little bit later. So
how do you feel about the performances in this film?
I've been talking a lot, so send that to someone over there.
Well, I will say just about the performances. I remember when we first covered this movie on our podcast, and it was my first time watching it. I had the question of like, is the acting bad? ? Like, what's going on here? And just going back and remembering, I remember Jamie or Brian and Hannah, you had mentioned this, a thing with the script and how it had to be, kind of translated into English, so that they could do the movie. And I think it had to do more with kind of some of the things that they were saying in the script and not necessarily like the acting. But when I watched it again, the acting didn't bother me as much. And maybe just because I just bought into what it is, and maybe just after the knowledge of everything that went on with the movie. So I will say I did enjoy the performances. My only gripe is it still felt like people were not acting like people in this movie. And I want to point out what we talked about with the teacher who read from the book. And Brian was saying in his plot summary, him just not telling anybody until the last second after people have already died. And, we already know that there's something truly wrong here. And I just felt like people were not communicating like normal people would in this movie. So I think it was more so of that with the script. But as far as the actors, I mean, I love Jane Levy all the way from, if you know, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. She's fantastic in that show. But I feel like the actors did a great job with what they had. Could there have been more moments where they were acting like normal human beings? I think so, yes. But all in all, I enjoyed the performances for this.
Yeah, I do think Jane is the obvious standout cast member here. I mean, I think she is given the most to do because she, is going through withdrawal and then she is possessed and then she is our final girl. Like, obviously she has the most to play with, but I think she does each of those extremely well. And I like that we're able to get such distinct sides of her.
She's extremely, I feel very empathetic for her, and I feel like she really draws that emotion out of me throughout this. So, any other thoughts on performances, standouts, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, even on the flip side, like her just being like, hiding under the basement and like being grotesque and like laughing at people when terrible things are happening to them. Like the flip of her being incredibly vulnerable to like antagonizing the group to then like having this really intense, like, how she comes out of it at the end. Like we're getting all of these different performances out of one person. And I just feel like that's truly a standout performance.
Absolutely.
Brian, did you have something?
Oh, I was just going to say that I was going to echo what Jamie said. Like, everyone serves their purpose. She stands out.
Yeah, 100%. Something that I wanted to touch on that I really liked about this film, and we kind of mentioned it, was some of the like squelching and squeaking noises.
Yes.
Like limbs and stuff being cut. The sound design across the film, not only that, but then also pieces of the score, rocks. I feel like it is done so well, and when those, like, the title card, even when that pops up, I was like, holy shit, this is scary. This is so freaking cool.
Yeah, it's like a rock opera. I feel like that's a theme in all of the Evil Dead movies. Like, you got to just go hard or go home with the score when you have all those beautiful practical effects around. Like, you got to have a score to match.
It's a hard thing to do, and I think really what this movie does that makes it, and there's so many things that it does that makes it work, but it's the full commitment. Everyone is playing this like pretty deadly serious in terms of their performances, but all around them is like these slapstick or over the top things happening within a scary, like gritty movie. And I just call that the Raimi flair, even though I know he's not directing it, but it kind of all comes together. And I wanted to say on performances, I think something that's going on here that kind of makes you confused about like, is this good or is this bad? Is it's a very like heightened dialogue and performance. And I think it's kind of, you look like an M. Night Shyamalan movie or a David Lynch movie. That's like a pretty common thing for them. And I think for Raimi as well, at least in these, it's like a very kind of out there dialogue. And I definitely think that's on purpose. And the actors, I think did a good job for what they were asked to do, especially as we said before, Jane.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that anyone really loved that they wanted to talk about before we get into maybe some not so love?
Okay, so something that I don't like about this movie, and there are very few things that I do not like about this movie, but we kind of talked about it a little bit before, but I needed more justification for the reading of the book. Like, and here's the thing. I know that that's kind of like a part of the charm of all the Evil Dead movies, that you just like, you're just getting it started. You know what I mean? But like in this version, I just needed one more line or something to justify why this jabroni would like get into it.
Like, I love reading.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a reading teacher. I bet this is real. Like, I love historical books. I wonder if I can photocopy this or whatever.
Or like if they found it together and he was reading it out loud to the person that he's with, but like it's not that either. He's just alone reading things out loud.
Yeah, because honestly, another pet peeve of this is him not telling his friends about what happened doesn't really make sense. Like, is he afraid of like getting in trouble? Is he afraid that people won't believe him? Like, if he was like reading it to like one other person, like I that's more justifiable, because by not telling your friends in this movie, it doesn't actually affect the plot at all. Like, because they all just believe him when he tells them in the end. I know more things have happened so that they can believe him, and he has more justification for people believing him because the pictures show what's happening. But I don't know. I just think I just needed a little bit more there, because the rest of the movie takes this, high concept so seriously. So that's my probably biggest pet peeve there. My second biggest pet peeve, and we'd already talked about it, is like, dogs should never die in movies. Ever. But yeah, those are like my two biggest kind of pet peeve or gripes about this, if you will. Oh, there's another one. There is no way that in this cabin that is literally falling apart, that they would not hear what's happening in the next room.
Agreed. Totally agree.
So much of this movie is like, hey, what's happening here? Like, oh, you didn't hear this person cut their arm off and scream?
Exactly.
Like no
Through this like
fucking
dilapidated
way.
plank that's holding this whole thing together.
100%. Like, don't, like, not even funny. Like, that's just like, hey, what's going on in here? It's like, you heard every fucking word that these people said from the next room over. Don't even play me.
It's like one of those things where I can suspend my disbelief when I'm watching it, and it's like, okay, whatever, it's not a big deal to me. But then when I start thinking about it, I'm like, God damn it, guys, those walls aren't walling very well.
Yeah, especially when they walk into the next room and they're like commenting like, I wonder what happened in here. It's like, I don't believe you.
Like, she was just operating like a chainsaw.
It's just,
it's
just the demon magic, all right? The Deadites are noise
Those
suppressing.
silent chainsaws, you didn't know that you could get one of those.
Oh,
from
the
Home
chainsaw silencers, of course.
I would say I don't have very many like pet peeves of this movie or like legitimate criticisms. The one thing that I would say, and maybe this is coming from not having seen the first, I've only seen Evil Dead 2.
That's okay.
And this one. So I don't know if it's coming from that or to this movie issue, I don't think the abomination is very scary.
That's a hot take.
Is that a hot take?
In my
so
opinion,
like when it comes out
I
of
think
the
it's so
ground and
cool.
you don't see its face, I thought it was scary. But then once you see its face, I was like, oh, an ugly person.
But it's partially her.
I know, but then I don't know. Like, I didn't think it was that scary.
No,
and
I hard disagree, but that's okay.
is that a hot take?
No, I don't think it's a hot take. I can understand. For how they, place these people in the universe, just seeing her but kind of beat up a little bit, I can totally be like, that's not that scary.
Yeah. So this is my thoughts on that last sequence. I think that I don't remember when I first, I don't remember the mindset of people at that time, because I did not see this when it first came out. Mm-hmm. So my thought there is, seeing yourself in the monster at the end of a movie feels very stereotypical and archetypical. So that just feels inevitable in this movie. So the end is not scary. The monster isn't scary per se. It's the context of everything that's scary about that. The chase, the arm coming off, the surprises, the blood. Even though the monster itself might not be scary, if you will, I also think that your level of scariness of that kind of could be based on how much you empathize with the allegory with her. But it's that whole scenario that is scary versus the monster itself, I guess. How it's edited, how it is paced, how the score goes underneath it, than the monster itself. That's kind of my
Don't forget that blood rain.
thoughts. And the blood rain, yeah, the blood rain.
I was about to say the same thing about the subtext, though. Her putting the chainsaw through her own personal demon at the end is so cool. I can't complain about this movie. I'm sorry. I refuse.
Sure, but not scary.
Fine.
Right.
Maybe I'm using the term scary loosely. I like this monster because of what you said, the scene. Her, you said her hand coming off. I think she, what word would I use there? Tears it off, pries it off, pulls.
Yeah.
I mean, tears is good.
Tears.
Tear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Tears
it's
yoink.
pretty. She yoinks her own hand off. That's actually probably the best way to put it. You're right. It's just a very good scene. And I think that monster fits exactly what I need for that scene. And I think it being a little immobile also is very critical, because everyone knows a slow-moving zombie is better than a fast-moving zombie. Hot
Does
take.
everyone know that? You just said everyone knows.
I know, and then said hot take. I know after I said everyone knows. I just assume my opinion is the correct one and the majority, typically.
Yeah, that's so true.
Which is not, if I've learned anything from this podcast, that is not the case.
No.
But I think there's also, maybe this is too tangential, but I'm thinking as an adult, I don't know if there are any movie monsters that genuinely scare me.
Oh, brother.
Have you seen Keeper yet? Yeah.
No.
Okay, because some people are hating
I'm
on
talking
Keeper,
about I'm just talking about the look and design.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Versus there are plenty of monsters that are existential dread and all of that. But once you see the monster, maybe in a jump scare, cool. But then you kind of get used to it a lot, in some of these movies, and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to see Keeper, so no spoilers. But there are. I'm trying to think of one, and also as we talked about earlier, once the CG hits, I'm out. An example is Pennywise in It Chapter 1. It is scary, it is wonderful. The second he opens his mouth for Georgie and is all CG, I'm like, oh, this is not scary anymore, but I still like this movie.
I see what you mean. Well, you have to let me know once you see Keeper, because there is CG
Sure.
in it. But I had said that I felt there's some design in here that affected me better than any other monster design I've seen maybe in a decade. So.
Okay, cool.
But I don't want to get your hopes too high, because people hate this movie.
Yeah, people hate that movie, so just go in with zero expectation. And
Oh no, that's the Osgood Perkins way. 50-50,
exactly.
baby.
Yeah, actually. Though.
No.
And I'm a guy that thinks Long Legs is fine, really disliked the monkey, and then Keeper was the one for me. So maybe that's just...
Mommy, daddy.
Daddy.
I hate it.
We probably do that on a weekly basis.
Our son
took me
says that
out.
to us now.
No. Exactly in that tone, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, Mommy, daddy.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, does anyone else want to complain? I said I refuse. I will go to bat for this movie.
Yeah,
I'll justify it all.
obviously, my complaint was like so minimal, and it was really literally just like design. I don't know, but the context of it, I completely agree with everything you guys said. So I have like no real complaint.
Yeah, no real complaint, but I will say, having seen Evil Dead Rise, it just in talking about like scary monster of it all, I felt like that one was a little bit scarier than this, and maybe that's a hot take, but I feel like having seen Evil Dead Rise and then going back to watch this Evil Dead, it really, I guess, desensitized me to what was going on. And again, it looked cool for all the things that we said, but scary, like I was not like running away from this like I would from the monster in Evil Dead Rise. But I don't think, Hannah, you said you haven't seen that.
That might
one.
be a hot take, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Hannah hasn't.
Because I don't love Evil Dead Rise. I think it was fine. I just think I think it's fine. I think it's missing the like kind of X factor I think this one has. But I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know. I don't know what people's overall consensus on Rise is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
feel
really
I
like
care about that
Rise.
one.
You like Rise? Do you like Rise
Yeah.
better than this?
No, because I
Okay.
think that I think they're different. I think
Very.
that this had because I think that this had a lot more expectations, being like a reboot, sequel, requel. Like Sam Raimi's not directing it. Like, what would this be? What will this be like? And then it kind of like it met expectations, not only exceeded something in terms of the hype. For me, Evil Dead Rise we just had a real fucking blast in the movie theater. Like I didn't. My expectations were to not be disappointed, and I wasn't. Like, it was just a lot of fun. It felt more like a Sam Raimi movie than this one because of all of the plot devices like that they cleverly used to like keep them in the building. I just had a blast with that one. So I don't necessarily like that one better, but I also don't compare these two in some ways because I think that the excitement for these movies after Evil Dead Rise is the new visionary anthology world of these movies.
You make a good point. I think
really exciting to me.
I was really coming off of watching these in order, so to get to this one and be like, wow, this is such a cool way to like redo or continue in a, with a different feel to then go to Rise. I was like, it seems like a little more of a letdown, but I think you're right. To set us off into just more Evil Dead movies set in other areas and other places, I think it is like really good that we have it. So.
Yeah, I just think the major difference between this one and that one is that this one never loses the allegory thread, and Evil Dead Rise loses the allegory thread towards the end. And if we're going to compare them in that way. Something that I did not mention early on that I should have mentioned in the likes is that both this and Evil Dead Rise, but this one have outstanding, spectacular cold opens into the title cards.
Yes.
I like that we don't even come back to this one. I think that makes it even better.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we do in a way because they go into that room at the end, but like we don't go back to it narratively. Yes,
we never see these like weird guys and this old woman that's doing the what's the removal. I was going to say spell. She's not a witch. The incantation.
But yeah, I think the opening is fantastic. I think that if you've never seen an Evil Dead movie before, the twist, if you will, of this opening sequence where, she actually is the demon and then she says the shit to her father, like that just kind of, it informs you of the one rule you kind of need to know, that like they're faking you out, yet you still believe it sometimes. And it was just really good into the title card. Just that beginning really works for me for sure.
Big agree. All right, well, you started touching on the allegory a little bit, so is it time for us to get into some of the, what does this movie mean? Some of the themes. I think we've touched on it a lot,
Yes.
but love to definitely give you guys the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, I would love to hear from you, Jamie, on like how you feel about the substance use allegory in this film, coming from the mental health background.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with I think Brian was saying it earlier about like how is that device in this movie used to justify why anybody would stay in a situation that like is seemingly unpleasant, beyond unpleasant. And I think also their reading of her like behavior and presentation in that moment makes sense as to why they wouldn't believe her. And like, you know, you're getting into a lot of like stereotypes around like folks who have used substances and like detox. And I think that there's a lot of like personal experiences of like either they themselves or know people or have been involved with people in their lives who have used substances. So like it's also this like very touchy subject, but I think enough people kind of have a general idea of like, you know, what might that dynamic look like, which I think as an outsider also might make it more compelling. I have like, I mean, with a lot of like mental health related things, I always kind of have, I usually have mixed feelings unless it's like outright truly horrible. There's a part of me that's like, ooh, is this like, are we cool with this? But I think also at the same time, like using it as the like allegory for the plot of the movie to that end, I think makes sense. So yeah, those are my mixed bag feelings.
I think that makes a lot of sense because I remember when I first heard about this, I was like, are they literally just using addiction and detox as the plot device here without saying anything meaningful about it? Because if that's the case, then no, I don't really support using it. I have trouble when like any film is using like a very significant trauma, like dying by suicide or SA, without like touching on it in a meaningful way. But I do think the way that the narrative plays out and that it is like a deeper allegory, I think I can gain a lot more appreciation for it. I think in addition to what we've mentioned so far and what you were just talking about, I think it is kind of nice to touch on like when you are using and when you are going through detox, substances legitimately impact your brain chemistry.
They change you completely.
They change you. You are not the same person that you were before you started using because it legitimately changes your brain and body. And so I think that that's something like people love to stigmatize use and be like, well, it's a choice. Well, no, it's an illness that has...
You're right. It's like she didn't choose to be possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
Is that kind of almost what they're... And that is kind of... If you look at it that way, I think that's like a... It's like drug addiction for dummies. Like, here's a good allegory to explain like what this is. I'm sure it would still go over plenty of people's heads that want it to, but you know.
Sure.
Yeah. And I do think, you know, like you mentioned, and I think we've touched on as well, like the reactions to friends, family, support networks to their family and friends when they're using as well, like that inherent distrust. Like, I'm sure she has deceived them or hurt them in the past. So there's things that like the brother didn't know that had happened and that the friends say like, well, she, you know, we tried this before and she gave up immediately. Like
one of them had brought her back.
Yeah.
Like to life basically.
Like, they
before,
have also gone through trauma with her. So them having like a mixed relationship with it, like they're willing to be there and help, which is amazing. But then they're also like, I'm not leaving till this is done, even though this is not safe. Or like them having this inherent distrust with her, like all of it does make sense from that angle.
It was clearly very well thought out. It wasn't haphazard and just dashed together Because I'm even thinking about, you learn at one point the reason their relationship is also strained is that I thought her like addiction started while he wasn't around and her mom was sick. And so now this adds this whole layer where if he had stuck around, like she maybe would have never gone down this path. So then it's like makes all the more sense for him to be the one that not fully saves her, but gets her over the hump so that she can save herself in the end. Which I think if you go and you just ignore the fact that all the friends die, you can more look at it from like, you can't do this alone. You need that support. But in the end, it still is on the person to ultimately like,
you still have to be the one to change.
You have to be the one. And that's so fucking cool in the way that they make that work in this movie, especially with her at the end, literally killing her demon that is a manifestation of herself. And that's why I joked earlier that is this a good for her movie? Like, yeah, she loses the friends and family, but like, did she overcome her demons? Like, I hope. I'd like to think so. And it's, I don't know, I'm giddy thinking about it. You said it made me smile from ear to ear. It's because there's so many facets of it that make me happy. So, but that's my rant. I'm done. Any other thoughts about themes? Nikisha or Brian?
No, I agree with what everything that everyone has been saying. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I think also at the end, like, there's also a question that you could ask existentially. It's like, yes, you've overcome your addiction, but you've chased everybody away. They're dead. They're not there. You lost your family. You're alone. Like I think there's like, you know, there's even just getting over the addiction is not the end of the struggle. And
Facts, for sure.
I also think that this movie, you know, kind of present and again, you know, you could look at the book flipping open at the end as like that, you know, you always carry it with you, you know, like that type of a thing. Like you have to be, she's going to be fighting this book the rest of her life. But she overcame it here. But I also think that there's, you know, a world where it's like, you don't just like get over your addiction and everything is good. Like there are consequences to those years, that time spent, because now you're alone. You're healthier and you can rebuild, but you're alone. And I think that kind of, I like that the movie kind of like leaves that open for us to be like, will Mia be able to recover from this, you know, in a way that is healthy? And so, you know, that walking away at the end is both satisfying and ambiguously sad.
I completely agree. I think there's like, it's very hopeful for her potentially in her recovery, but like you said, there's this much darker side to it.
And it's the reality of it, you know, and so it doesn't just walk away with the quote unquote happy ending after a horror movie. It's like, well, there are next steps. So it does kind of bring it home in the reality sense.
Isn't it so funny that we can say all of this about a Evil Dead movie? Like, that's the thing. That's the magic of Evil Dead 2013. Like I've sung its praises, but like who knew? A movie where the main character cuts her tongue with a utility knife. And yet, we can get this excited about it.
That's the magic of genre movies. You could say something without being right nail on the head, and it's just like, it's so much more satisfying.
Well, I think that probably does it for our themes there.
Do you want to
what do we got next?
Hot takes pretty quickly before rating?
I have a take that I think is hot, but I don't know if it will be. So I'm ready. If you're ready. All right, here's my hot take, and this is a spoiler for one of our upcoming episodes. I believe Evil Dead 2013 is a top 10 horror movie of the century so far.
That is
crazy.
Hot.
Yeah, that's a hot
that's
take.
That's hot.
Upcoming
That's hot.
episode.
That episode came out already?
That episode will have been out by the time we release this.
Well, you know what? The movie magic, baby. All right. Is that a hot take?
I think it's a hot take.
Yeah, I think so.
Nice. That's what we're going for.
It's not like flaming hot, lava hot, but like it's hot.
It's not as hot as my other take in putting Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 in my top 10 of the century as well. So
Hot
That's a
hot take.
wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I lost my mind. I'm sorry.
Why the fuck you
I don't
did
know.
that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I felt crazy.
he pulled out movies that are like, he's like, yeah, this is probably the best movie of the century thus far, but I didn't put it in my top 10 because I had to make room
For Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That movie broke my brain. I'm not going to lie. I entirely changed my taste.
You were just drunk.
I was. I drank a lot before I watched it, and maybe that helped, but, you know.
Okay, so my hot take... I don't know. This is very hot, I'm sure.
Spit it out.
Okay, so I've only seen this and Evil Dead 2, which is often cited as the best Evil Dead movie. I think Evil Dead 2013 is better.
You're going to anger some fans out there, but I respect your choice.
One of them is on this podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's like so flaming hot of a take. And to be fair, I watched this one, then I watched that one, then I watched this one again. But I did not have a very good time with Evil Dead 2.
She's too Zoomer-brained.
I didn't think it was funny. And
Well, you know,
definitely...
Hannah, I'll say the same thing. I felt the same way when I first watched these movies. Now, I am happy that I did watch them in order, and I didn't get on the train until Army of Darkness. For some reason, that clicked in my brain of like, oh, now I get the whole universe. So I feel like maybe watching all of it will help. But I do understand an initial watch and feeling like, what is this? And why is everyone so obsessed with it? So I totally understand, but I will still defend Evil Dead and say you should still watch the other ones. And I feel like 2 might come around.
Thank you, Nikisha. I brainwashed you well.
You did.
Yeah, I definitely need to. I'm certainly not going to just stop with these 2. I think I'm going to I'm going to watch all of them. So when Burn comes out, I am up to speed. But my current hot take, as it is very hot, I had to share it. I had to roast myself a little bit with that one.
I'll allow it.
Any hot takes from the rest of you?
No, just what I said about this in comparison to Evil Dead Rise. But I don't know what I was on when I watched Evil Dead Rise, but I just fucking loved that movie so much.
Hey, it happens. You were on the same thing I was on watching Rob Zombie's Halloween too. So
I guess so, you know?
It was the director's cut, so give me a little bit of slack. I don't know if that makes it better or worse, but...
Maybe a little worse, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, that might be worse.
I know. I thought I hated Rob Zombie. I couldn't get behind anything he did, and then all of a sudden, something changed. So
I feel like I need to defend myself slightly for my hot take.
I don't think your take's that bad, because there are days I agree with you.
Okay, I just need to share that the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are like my favorite among my favorite movies of all time. So I don't
think that's a hot take.
Raimi.
Oh, she's trying to defend not putting Evil Dead 2 higher.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I get what he's
a great
doing.
director.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
Spider-Man 2 is our
Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
I love so much, bro. When the stupid No Way Home came out and the trailer came out where he just goes, "Hello, Peter," I started crying. I was like, that is my man. And I was like crying in a movie theater when the trailer first played.
Is that a Hear Me Out? Or is
I was just going to say that, Jamie. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Hear Me Out, except also with the arms and stuff.
They knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing when they had him like shirtless in that movie.
I said what I said.
Yeah. Like I don't even know if it's a Hear Me Out. You know?
Yeah, I think all the women on this podcast have the same Hear Me Out. It might not be a Hear Me Out anymore.
Not in Boogie Nights, though. He's kind of scary in Boogie Nights. No, I've never seen it.
Well, I always fall asleep, I think, by the time he shows up.
It's a great movie.
My bad.
I can't believe it. Don't admit that you fell asleep during Boogie Nights.
Matt,
that's
I've
worse
seen
than
that movie
saying.
3 times and fell asleep
I know, that's
at the same point every time. And it's a good movie, so I don't know how
it's not even a
happening.
boring movie. That's what blows my mind. All right, well. All right,
Anyway.
so we got no other hot takes. Hannah and I are the ones throwing ourselves out there.
Well, I have some hot takes.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I think that this movie isn't as good if the other actors are excellent. I think that because she is better than everyone else and they're just doing their part, I think I think that if the other actors were better, this is not as good of a movie.
Some just call that good directing, you know? I think I agree with you, though.
My other hot take is that the reason this movie is good is because of Diablo Cody.
Ooh.
And he doesn't even have a writing credit.
You know, I like this take because no one will ever be able to know or prove one way or the other.
This has more Jennifer's Bodies vibes than anyone is ready to admit, except for us here. I
see it though. Like when I saw his name, I was like, "Oh, I get
her name."
That. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Her name.
But yeah, like feast on this motherfucker. Go back to hell, bitch. Like dying wouldn't be so bad right now. I just don't want to become the devil's bitch, like we said. I had to do it, and I feel much better. What happened to her eyes? Like all those quips that feel like they just scream her. And I absolutely, I think that's it's salty.
All right. So Alvarez on fraud alert is what I'm hearing.
No, I don't think he's a fraud.
He's a fraud. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Brian.
That's his hot
say
take.
that.
I mean, hey, Romulus not as good as Covenant or Prometheus. So, everyone wanted. I wanted the David trilogy. I didn't need some Romulus alien remake movie.
You fix one thing in that movie, and it's a significantly better movie. That's
fix one thing. What movie?
In Romulus, and you have a 10 times better movie. You cut Ian Holm from it.
Oh yeah. I think you're right.
You make that android another android, and it's better because again, as we talked about, the CGI, the de-aging, and like all that like takes me out of it completely. Yeah. If you just have a regular person sitting on the table, like that's the mistake that movie makes, because every time they go back to him, it takes me out of it, and it's like, why can't you just fucking be your own movie?
Or hear me out.
Again, like this movie does.
De-aging forever. Like
I agree with that. That's your hot
take. It never turns out the way that they. I mean, I don't even think that's hot of a take. No.
I know. I was
right.
That's
just a take. Like
it's a good take.
It's a cold take.
Yeah. Anyway, I know we're not talking about Romulus, but
no,
I don't think that Fede is a what's it called? Is a fraud. I think he's an excellent director.
I'm just trying to make something for the socials. Got to have some controversy.
Oh yeah.
Got to keep it hot and fresh.
Got to keep it hot.
All right. So where are we at now, Hannah?
Let's rate the bitch.
Let's rate it. Okay. I got mine off the top of my head, so I'm ready. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 for me.
Snap!
I really like this movie, and again, I said it was the top 10 of 21st century. So
yeah,
who's up?
Yeah, we rate out of 10. I don't know what you guys rate.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this an 8. I think it's really, really, really good. I think it's a really good requel. I think it does a lot of justice to this franchise, or as we call it, a chain. And yeah, it brings me a lot of joy that they can still capture some of the original magic of the OG movies in like the now times.
I was also going to give it an 8.
Ooh. Nice. I'm going to give it a 7. But that doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy myself. I really do enjoy this movie. But 7 out of 10.
But I gave it the first time I watched it, so I feel
yeah.
I'll give this movie an 8.
Hell yeah.
And for funsies, I looked up what we rated it out of 10 when we did it. Jamie gave it a 6 when we first did this. Nikisha gave it a 5 when we first did it.
That tracks.
And I gave it a 7 when we first did it. And I truly believe it's because we had just come off of the other Evil Dead movies, the original trilogy, and then we did this one. I think watching them in the context of the chain, or watching them in the context of just, standalone, can definitely affect your numbers for sure.
I just think it was this wonderful conversation we had that brought everyone's feelings up. We all saw something new in this film after today.
There you go.
Give yourself all the credit, Matt.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is this the best is this the best, like, I'm going to use this word loosely, but is this the best horror remake?
I have to think hard. I'm inclined to say yes, but
Isn't the Thing technically
the thing,
a remake?
the thing they
Yes.
consider a remake. But I think that's
Yeah.
cheating because it's a completely different movie.
Yeah. 'Cause
That's
the
hard.
Thing.
Dawn of the
Fox.
Dead.
Oh, that's
I'm
interesting.
gonna see what people.
I know, I was
we
like, with the,
posted
like,
this on the socials.
what's the best
and-
remake?
No, let's see. A lot of people
Suspiria
love
is
Suspiria.
I was thinking Suspiria, like for me personally. I think that movie slaps.
Yeah. Suspiria is
Yeah. Agreed.
amazing.
I'm struggling to
a
think
lot
of
of our
more.
comments say The Thing or Evil
Sure.
Dead.
The Thing is a
or
cop-out
Suspiria.
answer. I'm calling it.
Yeah, I think
The
that's
Crazies, Nosferatu.
fair. Nosferatu, I liked.
That also
but
feels like a
it's
cop-out
so
answer. You're
different.
100 years apart.
Yeah, so different.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch it
That's
to
like-
like really narrow down. How
My
I feel about
favorite
that movie.
remake is Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola.
Fuck
Yeah.
up.
I do love that movie.
One of our friends on this post commented and was like, "I just want you to cover this, so I'm gonna say Begonia, though I haven't seen the
Oh,
original
true.
yet." And I was like, I don't know if that is horror enough for us to cover, but like,
I'd love to.
fun pick, bro. And I've heard that from other people. Like I've heard
He's
people
horror
say-
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do
I
we
mean,
want
Dog
to
is
do...
one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
That man has like the wildest brain, and I
great.
love it. So we also do a -5 to 5 scale. We call it the Matt Dalton scale because our friend Matt Dalton made us start using it. I kind of see this as like my recommendation scale, like how much I think you need to see it. Negative meaning don't, positive meaning do.
We play it a little different because everyone feels the need to make their 1 to 10 scale, I think, makes sense with all their other rankings, where this one's like 0 is indifferent. So the negative or the plus can really mean whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll go first. This is a +5 movie for me because it's one that I'm like, please watch this. I'm like, this is an important film, I think. In some weird way, it's an important horror film for me. And I want people to go see it. So
A +5 for me would be like Twilight. So this isn't
Okay.
a +5 for me, I don't think. I'm gonna go like a hell yeah. I'm gonna go like a 3.5.
a +3.5. All right, got it.
Baseball, anyone?
Yeah.
I love that
God.
scene. It's the best sports scene in modern cinema.
Agreed. Agreed.
That's a hot take.
We are huge Twilight fans here.
I think they're called
Huge.
Twihards.
Twihards.
Yes.
I like the first one.
The first one's great.
Hannah likes all of them.
Yeah,
The first one's good.
Well, we're fans of the first. We're huge fans of the first one.
Yeah.
The first one is a perfect film
I've been to
because it knows
forts.
exactly what it is.
Yes. Capital F.
Yes.
Film.
true.
Yes.
All right. Anyone else on our Matt Dalton scale?
Oh, I was gonna say +3
Okay.
on the rec.
I like
I
it.
think +4 for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 3.5. I like that.
Okay.
Plus 3.5.
We are finding that they do seem to align with our normal scale a lot, but
Mine
not
hasn't.
always.
Yeah.
Mine hasn't. Like
We're trying to figure it out because I do feel that I can be different.
the
Because again,
number.
a 5 is not me being indifferent to a movie. I could think a movie is a 7 out of 10, but feel very indifferent, and I would give it a 0 on the other scale. So,
yeah.
Can you give an example of that?
no, I do from an episode probably, but I off the top of my head, no.
Yeah,
I know. I was
dude,
curious.
What episode was that?
I
'Cause
did
know
that
I've done the
recently.
same
Yeah,
thing.
who knows? We're
If
never
I
able to
think
figure
of
it out.
it, I'll let everyone know. But right now, The Ring.
It was The
I
Ring.
don't love The Ring very much, but I think it's like a must-watch movie.
Oh, so you gave it like a lower
I gave it
score,
a
and then you
5,
were
but I rated it not
Like a
like
plus.
a 5 out of 10.
yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a good example of the opposite. So, of what I was saying about mine.
Yeah, like I feel that way a lot about a lot of slashers because I didn't grow up on slashers. Slashers are not my subgenre of choice, but like some slashers, I'm like, this is fine, but like you should absolutely watch this as a part of your like
Yeah.
horror history.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you could go opposite, and you could be like, Halloween is such a good suspenseful movie, but like, Not, I'm not saying I feel that way, but I've definitely heard people be like, Halloween's not for me, but I know it's good. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that about wraps it up here today, right, Hannah? Anything else?
That's all. Why don't you guys give yourself a plug one more time and let our audience know where to find you?
Sure.
Great, Brian.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Great.
Manager.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Hey, what's up,
producer, right,
YouTube?
producer.
No,
What's
we
up,
are.
YouTube?
What's
Like,
up,
comment, subscribe.
YouTube? Yeah.
Right.
Hit the button. Boing.
Alert.
So-
Sorry.
Yeah. We are Talking Horror. The podcast is Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha. Episodes drop every Thursday. We do movies ranging from brand new releases to classics and everything in between. And we look at them through the lens of mental health and human behavior after we do our likes and gripes, of course. But you can find us on social media, wherever you're on social media. And by that, I mean the only two places we're on social media, which is TikTok as well as Instagram. You can follow us there at Talk Horror Pod. Any movies that we do not do on the podcast, we will probably do on that social media. You can also find us on YouTube. What's up, YouTube? At Talk Horror Pod. You can find our episodes there. You can also find a lot of other fun goodies. And you can listen to us wherever you get podcasts. That is like Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. So check us out in all of those fun and exciting places. We would love to have you join the crew. Not like our actual crew, just listen.
Yep. Send all inquiries for a new job to their
Yeah.
business email.
Right.
They're
Yeah,
hiring.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining us. This was great. I'm
very
glad we get
fun.
to talk about a movie I like a lot. So
Thank you.
Thank you for having
for
us.
having
We really,
us.
Yeah.
we really appreciate it a lot.
Yeah.
all right. And for everyone listening, I've been Matt Hanna.
And I'm Hannah.
This is Horror Out with the Hannahs. Stay tuned and stay scared.
Thank you for listening to Horror Hour with the Hannahs. Make sure to listen to future episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever else you can find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube, where we post episodes and shorts. You can follow us at Horror Hour with the Hannahs on TikTok and Instagram, as well as at Horror Hour on Blue Sky for more content. If you like the podcast, please follow and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Happy hauntings!